Well, continuing the videotaping of the path upwards. So the creek starts leveling off up here. We're basically at the kind of the top of the major part of the creek. We've got the creek down there, as you can see, and the path continues along this way, gets into a lovely little valley, and nice and cool. It was really nice working back here when we were building the power channel and doing all the pipe laying, which obviously had to be done by hand because I didn't want to try to bring up heavy equipment into here. So all of this path was improved and the trench for the pipe dug by hand. But it was so nice coming up here where it's all shaded and calm and cool, and down by the house it would be all hot. So it was quite nice, and in some ways poor wife had to be down there, except she probably didn't really want to be digging a trench, while we were up here in the cool area digging a trench, hauling rock, hauling 80-pound bags of mortar. Well, who had the most fun? Anyway, you can see the creek goes along here, and it gets quite high during the winter, and you can see now during the summer it's quite low. It is a year-round creek, though it will, probably within a week or two, the flow of water will be too low to run the hydro system, and we'll turn it off. Down here, this is the very first bit of pipe that you actually can see. When you first start, the pipe line ends up inside the creek flow area, and you want to get it out of the creek flow as quickly as possible. But as you can see, it takes a fair amount of time, or distance, in our case at least, because it is a low slope on the creek, and so the pipe is, just you can see it here, I painted it to try to hide it so it's not too obtrusive, just because Beck, who wants a bright red or some very obtrusive pipeline out in this lovely area. You've got the picture of the hydro intake down here showing some of the piping. The top one is the outflow pipe. When we need to do work on the system, we can pull out the gray pipe that we're looking at that's sticking out above the intake, and it will drain all the water out of that upper pipe and not fill the lower pipe, so we can do any work we need to. And the lower pipe heads on down the creek towards the house. And then over here, there's the intake again. Some of the things we found as a problem with the intake is that it doesn't absorb water tremendously. It's, you know, it's great. It doesn't allow for a lot of clogging. It's one of those lovely streams, but it does need a high flow to absorb the water, or else it needs to be bigger. And we actually really should have had a bigger screen put in for the amount of low flow that we're getting. Let me get down into the creek itself so you can see the I have no idea what it's going to look like right now. Okay, there's a shot downstream and the pipes, and then over here is the power channel that is built out of native rock that we went ahead and mortared together, so the water flow basically comes straight down towards me down the creek, and then a section of it gets caught in the channel where Tarky is walking in, and then gets caught and down the intake, gets captured, some of it, and heads on down towards the house. So that's pretty much our hydro system in this lovely little steep valley. Take a nice shot up the hillside, and hopefully I'm not making people dizzy. This is not the electrical portion of the hydro system. If anybody is interested in seeing that, though it's visually not as stunning as this valley is, just leave a post and I'll see if I can't eventually take a video and talk a little bit about our electrical portion of the system. Have fun, everybody. Bye-bye.